This is Indesign's Workspace. You'll notice across the top your menu bar. This is your application bar. It begins with ID for InDesign. There's an icon to switch to Adobe Bridge, which allows you to manage files, run scripts to Photoshop, see larger image previews, read metadata, extra data about the image stored in the file, or about the document stored in the file. This application bar may be to the right of your Help menu on Windows, or above your menu bar on Windows, depending on your screen resolution. To the far right, you'll see the word Essentials, and this is your Workspace switcher. Essentials saves your panel layout, and that is the technical term for pages. It's a panel, or layers, or links. If I click the word Pages, the panel opens, and I like to say they open like a drawer. Click the word Pages again, and it closes. Technically, this is called expanding a panel or collapsing a panel. And if you'll notice, this panel group contains 3. They are nested behind one another. So clicking on the name of the panel will expand it or collapse it. So we've got menu bar, application bar, workspace switcher. And I'm going to switch to the typography workspace. That's my favorite to start with because it contains most of the features or panels that I need every day. And there we have it. So typography includes a few more, like text wrap, paragraph styles, and character styles, which we will use. On the left is your toolbar. And on the toolbar, we have a single vertical row. These 2 dark gray double arrows will actually switch you to the original 2-column layout. Clicking those double arrows again will collapse it back to a single vertical row. Sometimes I prefer the 2-column layout because I get a bigger button for normal view versus preview. And the icon for fill, the inside of a frame color, or stroke, the outline of a frame color, are much bigger targets. But for now, we'll leave it on the single vertical row. And whenever you launch most Adobe programs, you get this welcome screen. The welcome screen will contain recent documents that you are working on, and in fact, I can click Open directly from here. When I click Open, I'm in my Chapter 1 folder in the San Francisco Guide, and I'll double-click to open it up. And here we have a document already built with a cover page, and if I click my Pages panel on the right, I could see this is a facing page layout. We have technically what are called spreads, a left side page and a right side page. To make the Pages panel disappear, I'll click on the word Pages again, and I'll go back to the toolbar to the double column layout, and this is a handy way to look at your document. At the bottom right corner is the Preview button. When I click the bottom left, I go back to normal mode, which shows me text frames, picture frames, and the edge of your paper, your margins, the edge of the bleed area, which is for high-end print or pre-press work. Now, the last thing I want to point out in getting you comfortable with your workspace is tabbed document windows. I'm going to choose File, New Document, and I'll simply click OK on the defaults. When I click OK, the Untitled One, the new document I just built, is stacked on top of the San Francisco Guide. Clicking on the name of the document, whether it be unsaved or untitled, or one that you've already opened, brings that forward or back. So as you look at your screen, the technical name for this is tabbed document windows. And speaking of Windows, a note for the Windows users. On the Windows platform, to close a program, there's usually an X at the top right corner, X to exit, and then below that, an X to close your document. Well, starting a few versions ago in the Adobe applications, they put the X next to the document name. Now, with Mac and Windows, your close is in the exact opposite spot. On the Mac, it's at the top left. On Windows, it'll be at top right. So this X here on the Mac or the X you'll see on Windows on the top right, closes the entire application. It quits InDesign. The X you see here next to the document name on the left on the Mac, it will be on the right of the document name on Windows, will close the document. Just be careful. I see a lot of Windows users accidentally closing the program when they mean to close just their open file or document. So I'll collapse the toolbar to a single vertical row. And on the far right, there's another view for your panels. If I click Expand Panels, I like to call this the older palette view, which if you have the luxury of 2 monitors can be very handy. You could see the full name and all of the options for the expanded panels. But to take up less screen space, I'm going to click these double-sided arrows again to collapse back to icons. And now I can actually shrink this just a hair to give my document itself more room. It's okay to cut off a little bit of paragraph styles and character styles because I actually rarely use paragraph and character. Most everything I do will be directly from the control panel across the top. So let's review. We have your menu bar, your application bar, the workspace switcher. This bar is called the control panel, and the control panel is context sensitive. It switches what it's saying based on what's selected. If I double-click to get inside a text box, it shows me text-related stuff. If I go back to my selection tool, it shows me object-related stuff. And then finally we have our toolbar on the left, displayed vertically right now, and our panels on the right. In Adobe programs, most everything you do will be accomplished through a panel. Either the control panel, the bar across the top, or your panels along the right. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of your workspace and take a few moments to familiarize yourself with the different portions of your workspace, remembering that the application bar may be to the right of Help or above your menu bar on the Windows platform.